Okay folks, so here I am in my garden, and I'm really just kind of scoping out my garden right now and trying to see exactly what I need to do here, what I need to move around, cut away, prune and primp. I definitely have a lot of projects in my head right now, some that are currently going on and of course some that are going to be happening here in the future. And also wanted to give myself an update on what's currently going on with some of the projects that I've just done. And the first project, of course, is the Maxillaria tenuifolia. This is my rescue orchid that I just showed a video on and kind of showed you how to propagate this little guy and also repot. And it is in a tree that I think is going to be safe. I know it likes a lot of bright light, but of course it's an orchid. A lot of orchids don't like your direct sunlight, and Florida actually gets some pretty harsh sunlight, so definitely I always have to keep an eye on my plants. So I'm just really checking it out right now, and as you can see, it's getting filtered light, and mostly throughout the day it will be getting filtered light. It's just in the morning time the sun does come from, this side, and it will get some rather early sunlight, and that might be soft enough for it. But again, I just have to really keep a close eye. But as you can see, my Maxillaria tenuifolia doing quite well, and definitely will give you guys an update. And if I wasn't too harsh with him, he may even give me some blooms, because as you guys know, it is coming into the season where they do give off their fragrant bloom. So I'm finger crossing that, folks. Finger cross with me, please. Come on. And if you guys can remember, these are my orchids in a bag, my Cattleyas, and they are doing well. Still haven't really did my repotting on these that I really need to do. But man, I just can't make up my mind, because I've just been seeing so many things about how to mount orchids, and I really want to mount some of my orchids. You know what, but I'm just really insecure in the fact of just directly mounting it. I'm thinking that I'm just going to put it in a coconut husk liner, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put some medium in there and then attach it to my tree. And the reason why I'm thinking of doing that is, of course, I just know Florida sun, and I just want to give it the best chance that it can get, so at least providing it some of the moisture and watering to be able to retain the water. So that's definitely what I'm thinking I'm going to do with these. I wanted to give a little bit close up on these, because I know I did in the rub-a-dub-dub bathtub, but of course it was dark there, so definitely wanted to just give a little bit closer up on these orchids that I have. And this one right here, I'm just really happy with. Of course, there's a lot of root growth, and of course this baby right here, such a healthy baby. So I'm hoping that this will grow healthy and it will provide me a blossom. I am hoping. Wish me luck, folks, on that. And also, let us move on to this orchid right here. I put it in a bigger pot because it kept tipping over, but this isn't actually the pot that it's going to situate in. This is the one that actually has a lot of dead root that I have to just remove. But as you can see, it does have healthy roots as well, so definitely I'm not worried about her at all. And she has a little baby as well. And the greatest thing about her, and I'm so happy with, is the fact that I'm seeing in one of the leaves right here a form of growth that's definitely different than the rest of them, and it just really looks like it's breaking through that darker green casing. As you can see, that light green nubbins, as Miss Orchid Girl Danny likes to say. That nubbin that will give some lovin' right there. So very happy camper with her. And I'm going to be taking really good care of these because I want to see their blossoms. I am indeed a blossom gal. Okay, and this right here, which at first was very funny because this little guy right here, I didn't see at first any babies on this, so I was a little bit disappointed. I was like, oh, come on, bring something to the table. But as I took a closer look, and let's go ahead and go into the root system, which I'm very happy with too. I mean, she's looking pretty good. Anyways, as I looked closer, I did see a tiny nubbin that wants to give some lovin' right there. So that's going to be one. And then when I flipped it around, let's flip it around and try to get this thing in focus. I also seen another growth. It's right here. Right there, folks, where that light is. Okay, that's another growth. But then I looked to the side right here, and if you look really close to as well, there's also a growth that's coming from this base right here, so that makes 3. And as I flipped it around again, if you look right here, there's a definite formation of another nubbin that wants to give some lovin'. So this actually has 4 growth on here, new growth. So this is the emerald green aisle that I was telling you guys about. Very excited because I've never had a completely green orchid before, and she will be my first. So definitely we'll take care of her as well, and I will give you guys updates. Now here's my problema, folks. Okay, I want to mount this orchid right here. Excuse me, pardon me. I want to mount an orchid on this tree. But I have to be very cautious because sun just really gets to this tree. Even though it has many branches here, it still manages to get through. Okay. The only area that really is safe and secure, I would say, is like in this area right here. But of course, as you guys see, my Radican orchids are there as well. And when they really take root or really come into its full flourishment, I'm not sure if that's a word, but when it's fully flourishing, it has a way of really cascading over everything. So yeah, I just don't want it to get tangled up into my Radicans because they have pretty strong roots that like to attach onto anything and everything, and I definitely don't want it attaching to my cat Leia. We will indeed have problems. So I'm not sure, but I'm really tempted, folks. Really tempted to put it right here. Have it growing right there. And of course I'll put it in a coconut husk liner and have it growing right there. Right up against this tree. That's the only safe and secure place where the sun will not attack it. So that's what I'm thinking, folks. And then I'm also looking around for shaded areas in my garden. And let me refocus. Sorry about that. One-handed, folks. Really looking around for pretty much shady areas in my garden because I'm actually thinking of taking some tree stumps or some wood particles and actually just putting them into my garden where they're shade, and then having the Cattleyas attach onto them. Folks, that is my idea, at least. And this tree, I mean, I could really put it down low where it's more shady, but I just have so much going on in this tree. I mean, I even have these bromeliads right here that were once in a basket, and they totally took over the bottom half of my tree, as you can see right there. I think these are called heliconias, where they branch off some very peculiar shaped, I don't know if you would call these flowers. Very pretty, right? Very unique. Like a really royal blue, and then of course up against this kind of reddish magenta color. But yeah, these bromeliads are so beautiful. Unfortunately, like you guys see, the blossom actually branches down, cascades down into these bush area, and you don't really get to see the beauty of it because it's really quite unique in its shape. But anyways, like I was saying, sorry, got off the beaten path there. But yeah, the bromeliads are pretty strong here as well, and that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid if I put it lower here, the bromeliads are just gonna crawl over, and I'm gonna have a bigger problem in the end. So yeah, that's kind of my problem right now. I have shady area right here, but again, too close to my Radican orchids. Very feisty. They're rebellious. They like to take over things, so gotta be cautious in anything that I put around it. Anyways, give me your suggestion, folks, on what you guys think I should do. Would really appreciate it. I'll come up with something. Anyways, let me go ahead and give you an update on my Encyclia orchid. I did a video on her, and of course I showed you some of the harmful pests that were invading her. And I think I got rid of majority, if not all, I'm hoping, finger crossing. But of course I was unable to repot her, and she's still in the same medium, and that's kind of for her safety and her protection, because she is in full bloom right now. Well, not full bloom, but she is definitely spiking. Her spikes getting a little bit more defined with the blossoms. You can definitely see the definition. And I'm seeing a little purple in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Is it my imagination, folks? My wishful thinking? But I definitely am seeing some purple in here. And the lady that I purchased it from, she did say that it blooms in purple. She has 4 spikes going on. And I just don't want to frustrate her at such a vulnerable time of her blooming stage. So I'm going to wait after she blooms, and then I'll do the repotting. But folks, I mean, I'm just really enjoying her because her pseudobulbs have really gotten so huge. So huge. And I just love touching and feeling on them. I'm just so touchy and feely. But they are just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. And it's going to be quite a project when I go ahead and really take her apart or divide her, because that is what I'm thinking of doing. I think she needs it, but that's going to be quite a project within itself, because these bulbs are just so huge and scrumptious. I just want to eat them. No, not really, folks. Don't eat the bulbs, folks. So yeah, but she's just precious, guys. She is just absolutely precious. So proud of this beauty, and I can't wait for her to bloom. Alright, well, that is about it for now. I just definitely wanted to update you on what's been going on with all of my projects. Definitely stay tuned for more, and I thank you so much for tuning in to my garden paradise. And if you like this video, please make sure to like, and definitely give me your suggestions. And if you have any questions, I definitely will answer those as well. I thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Maria Young in her garden paradise. You guys be safe and always wonderful, folks.